Here's the question, the main question that we have before Pesach. This isn't just another Pesach that we're approaching, another and another, but this is, in a way, probably since the original Pesach in the year 2448, the most significant Pesach of all of history, because this is the year when on Parshas Zachor, 40 members of Amalek were all eliminated as Parshas Zachor was being read in Eretz Yisrael in Yerushalayim at the Kaisar. So the impact of this is so massive, we can't really digest it. That's the truth. And if not for all the ugly stuff that's going on in the world and the scary stuff that's going on in the world, we would be just doing jumping jacks all the time. But it's kind of tempered by some rockets hitting Eretz Yisrael or rockets being directed to Eretz Yisrael, etc. Okay, so the question is, does this just all happen on its own? Are we entering a Pesach that is going to be obviously so miraculous, the second most miraculous one in all of history, just like that? Is it just happening on its own? Or what's the system behind the whole thing? Okay, so welcome to our Pnimi. This is Sarah Tova Best. So we're learning the Sikha of Hey Nisan, Shabbos HaGadol, Tafshin Nun Aleph. The issue of why it's called Shabbos HaGadol, that's for a different audio. Here, the question is, does all of this Pesach miraculous stuff happen on its own? When we say on its own, that doesn't mean without Hashem, God forbid. It means, obviously, you can't say Pesach and, there's no Hashem in that. That's not called Pesach. That's called whatever. It means anybody else involved in this, in making this Geula happen, besides Hashem, so to speak. I mean, there is no besides Hashem. So I guess the question is, how does Hashem create the Geula? From Galus to Geula, how does he take us out of Mitzrayim? Does he give us any insight into the mechanism through which he operates? People would say, we don't know God's ways. How can we know how he operates? We can't know how he operates. And here in the Sikha, the Rebbe is giving us a deep explanation and insight into the inner workings of the system, which is the involvement of Moshe Rabbeinu in the process of Geula and Yetzias Mitzrayim. So let's look at Sif Beis in this Sikha. I'll read a few words and mostly translate it. One of the main inyanim of the Geula of Mitzrayim that's emphasized in Torah is this, that the Geula was through Moshe Rabbeinu. Das was die Geula ist gewesen durch Moshe Rabbeinu. This is one of the main points. The Geula, Hashem wants us to know through his holy Torah that the Geula happened through Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the secret. Hashem is telling us, I'm taking you from Galus to Geula and out of Mitzrayim. Right. But I'm doing it through Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Well, maybe we'll see in this Sikha. Moshe Rabbeinu, Goyelim Shal Yisrael. He is the Redeemer of the Yidden, as the Torah explains and says in great depth in Parsha Shmais, how Hashem chose Dafka Moshe as the Goyel Yisrael. And we know when Hashem came to Moshe Rabbeinu and said, take the Yidden out of Galus, Moshe Rabbeinu said, no, not me, please, no. Shlach na biyad tishlach, not me. Do not send me. I don't want to. I cannot be the Redeemer. I don't want to be the Redeemer. Send the ultimate Redeemer, whose name is Mashiach. Do that. And Hashem responded, and we'll see you soon. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, Shlach na biyad tishlach, and Hashem did not bypass me, please. Hashem said, Moshe Rabbeinu, and Hashem said, no, I won't bypass you. I will not bypass you. You will be an intrinsic part of the process of Geula. Why? Well, the Eibishter had gewollt, as Dafka Moshe soll sein der Shliach to Goel sein b'nei Yisrael, because Hashem wanted that Moshe Rabbeinu should be the Shliach to redeem us. Of course, the redemption is through Hashem, but Hashem wants that the Shliach through whom it happens is Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu. And therefore it's understood that Moshe has a tifa shaychus, a deep connection to Geula, a very deep connection with Geula. It's on every level, whichever way you unpack it or pack it or look at it right and left. Moshe Rabbeinu and Geula is one piece. And that's why he has the kayach to redeem us, to take us out of Galus to Geula, because he is the epitome, the exemplification of Geula. And Chazal say on Moshe, who Gael Rishon, who Gael Achron. How is he Gael Achron? This is the answer. He's the last redeemer. Even when it comes to the Geula Mitzvah Shlema of Galus, of this last Galus, that comes through Mashiach, the first Geula comes through Moshe. The last Geula comes through Mashiach. And by the way, that's what Moshe Rabbeinu meant. There's myself, you want me to be the first redeemer, and I know that you're going to send Mashiach as the final redeemer. So would it be possible to bypass me? Those words, shlach ma b'yad tishlach, mean, would it be possible to bypass me and just send Mashiach? And Hashem said yes and no at the same time. What did Hashem do? He made it that Gael Rishon and Gael Achron, that Moshe Rabbeinu and Mashiach become one piece. So everybody's happy. Everybody gets what they want. Moshe Rabbeinu is the first redeemer. He's also the last because he and Mashiach become one piece. And everything included. And on this Geula, it says, just like when we came out of Mitzrayim, we will see great wonders now. And wow, when we're looking at the world now, we're seeing wonders beyond wonders. We were promised that we would see. We were promised in the year that this sichel was set, in Tafshin and Aleph, actually, in 1991, that we will see, when the Gulf War was going on then, 1990-91, we would see miracles way greater than when we came out of Mitzrayim. And we did. But we never expected this that we're seeing now. The 40 members of Iranian monsters, those who have backed for 47 years, have been the ones who funded the evil and the terrorism and the horrific things that have been done for 47 years throughout the world, including paying off all the university students to stand for free Palestine and all this business. These monsters, who have been the brains behind the evil in the world for 47 years, not even to mention the evil in their own country, in Iran, that they should be destroyed in 1 minute is an unbelievable thing. And on Parshas Zachar, when we read Parshas Zachar, and they all leave their bunkers, what were they thinking? They all leave their bunkers and they all come together to celebrate, to have a big party together, and boom, they were all taken out in 1 minute. This is a miracle, the likes of which are bigger than the Makkahs that we saw in 2448 when we came out of Mitzrayim. So we've been promised we will see great wonders right now in our lives as we stand here. We are seeing them. And we know that it says actually in Chassidus that Geulas Mitzrayim is the Reish, is the head and the source of all the Geulas, including the future Geula. And Geula, every single Geula comes dafka through Moshe. B'kayach, from Geula, yeda Geula kommt dafka b'kayach Moshe. Every Geula comes with the kayach of Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the Nakuda. So what is that all about? That's the inner secret. That's the secret sauce that Hashem is telling us. When you see these miracles of Geula happening, I am doing these through the Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation. He's originally called Moshe Rabbeinu when he's in Mitzrayim, and at the end he's called Mashiach in the final Geula. I am working through Mashiach Tzidkenu and operating through him in the Geula process. And we need to know that. It's an intrinsic part of the truth. So the Nakuda is, we're into Sif Gimel now of the Sikha, The whole purpose of Gulas Mitzrayim is v'lakachti eschem li la'am v'yisi lechem le'elokim v'yadatem ki ani Havaya Elokechem v'moiti eschem mitachas tzivlas Mitzrayim. I will take you to a nation. I am taking you to me as a nation. And I will be Elokim for you, v'yadatem, and you should know ki ani Havaya Elokechem, that I am Havaya Elokechem, who takes you out of the suffering of Mitzrayim. This is a basic fact. And Anochi Hashem Elokecha asher atzitzicha me'eretz Mitzrayim. I am Hashem, your God. These are basic things. This is what is told to us. This is what Hashem says to us in the Chumash. I take you out of Mitzrayim, and I take you to Har Sinai, and Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Okay, that means that the revelation of Hashem down here, Begula, in the Geula of Mitzrayim, is for what purpose? In order that, as we are in the world, we should know and recognize that Hashem, that it's all Hashem. Hashem takes us out of Galus, and He brings us into a situation where He wants us to know that it's Him. Hashem wants us to know that it's Him. And He wants us to then go to Matan Torah and take on Torah mitzvahs, and through our Avaida, reveal godliness, v'ayfen kavua v'nitzchi. Hashem wants us to know He takes us out of Mitzrayim through Mashiach. Why Mashiach has to be involved in the mix, hopefully we'll see. But Hashem takes us out of Mitzrayim and then takes us to Har Sinai. He wants us to know that it's Him, and He gives us the Torah, and He wants us to uncover Him ba'ofen kavua v'nitzchi, in a permanent way, in our lives and in our part of the world, as it was in the Mishkan. He wants us to know in a permanent way. Let's just keep our eye on the word permanent. Ofen kavua v'nitzchi. A permanent way. He wants us to know forever. Not a temporary way. Permanently. We are God. We are His people. He is our God. Hashem is our God. Our Vaida is to reveal Him again and again and again and again and again for eternity. Non-stop for eternity. It's very interesting because this word kavod v'nitzchi, it means kind of like eternal and grounded. Honestly, just comment over here, it's the one thing that everybody's lacking, I would say, in the past 10 years, 20 years, 10 years especially. There was a time where people were, I would say several decades ago, people in their, just talking from an energy point of view, people were somewhat grounded. Now nobody's grounded. Everybody's flying. You could just feel anybody who is trained in energy healing or can read people's energy sees very clearly people are just not grounded. There's just a sense of everybody's kind of like, like all over the place, not pulled together, not grounded, a sense of everything's temporary. It sounds ridiculous, but once upon a time, you bought a washing machine and you knew it was going to be good for 30 years. And now when you buy it, they say, well, expect 10 years. Nothing lasts forever. They have created a society in which they say nothing lasts forever. And they proudly declare it. You have an attention span of 7 seconds. And then you switch to the next thing. That sense of permanence and groundedness has been taken away right now, especially in the past 5 years and 10 years, if you want to say. And here we're talking about a situation that we're going to go into, that the Geula will be that we on a permanent and in a permanent and grounded way will reveal Hashem forever in a very, very grounded way. So opposite to what we have now. And we see it in the Mishkan. And not only that Hashem says, you make me a Mishkan after all the things that happened with the Chet Egel and all of that. You make me a Mishkan and I will stay there permanently. I will be there permanently. Hashem never leaves the Mishkan. The Mishkan is destroyed and then replaced by the Beis HaMikdash, and then the next Beis HaMikdash, or rather the Mishkan isn't destroyed but replaced by a more permanent building, the first Beis HaMikdash, which is destroyed, and the second, which is destroyed. And yet they're not. They really are on some level underground and above, but to be replaced by the third Beis HaMikdash, which is permanent, forever. So that Hashem's presence in the world becomes permanent, forever, grounded. Exactly what we're not feeling now. Grounded. It will be grounded, permanent forever, and our recognition of Hashem will be permanent and grounded. So that's in the base. That's the conclusion of all of this is Mikdash Hashem Kanunu Yadecha, a permanent base of Mikdash, a permanent Geula, and through this, as we said, revealing Hashem in the world in such a way that you experience it permanently and grounded. The most grounded way. How will we feel grounded? We're not feeling grounded today in the world, which means we're not feeling the depth of Hashem in the world. And it's interesting. What's going on today in the world as we speak? The evil is being uprooted from minute to minute. Another guy is eliminated. Another one is neutralized. And another. They are feeling. Isn't it interesting? The enemies, not only the enemies, Amalek himself, the evil regime that has masterminded all the evil in the world for 47 years, they felt very permanent. They felt very grounded, very safe, very in control. All the money in the world. They have all the money. Or seem to. And so much money, all those oil fields, and imagine a little country called Qatar. It's a little piece of nothing. And it was once a British colony. And in the middle of nowhere, over there in the Middle East. And I don't know, all the oil is discovered. They have endless money. And the sense of permanent power that they had is unbelievable. And all of a sudden, all that permanence, because it was fake permanence, wasn't permanence. The only true permanence is permanence with Hashem's consciousness of Hashem's existence through and through in every fiber of the world. That's the only true permanence. All the other stuff that seems permanent eventually blows up in smoke, as it is now. So those evil guys over there in Iran, they're all running, they know, how many more hours do they have to live? Hashem is taking them out. He made Meretz Mitzrayim Aaron Niflos. So that's the whole Nakud of the Geula, the permanence, the groundedness. And the completion of this will be in the future, when the entire world and all the people in the world will feel and see Elokos Bagoli B'Shleimus. We'll see Hashem openly, completely, revealed. V'nigla kvadavai v'rocho b'tei yachtav kipi Hashem diber, as it says in Yeshaya. And all the glory of Hashem will be revealed, and all physical flesh will see that everything comes from the word of Hashem. So if that's the case, that's the reason why the Geula of Mitzrayim came dafka through Nisim v'Niflas, miracles. Because dafka through a miracle that's above nature, wird anplek begoli der unbegrenzt der Kayach von dem Eibishten. Dafka through a miracle that is way above nature. A miracle breaks the laws of nature. It goes way outside of the laws of nature. Splitting of the sea. That's not in the laws of nature. A miracle goes outside of the laws of nature, out of that box. So dafka through these miracles is revealed v'galu, is revealed in a way that we can see. These words are so powerful. Bagrenitz der Kayach von dem Eibishten. The unbounded Kayach of Hashem. Without walls, without limitations. The unlimited Kayach of Hashem is seen when you see a miracle. You feel it when you see a miracle. A miracle that goes way outside the laws of nature, you experience the unbounded, unlimited Kayach of Hashem. And we will see this. What are we here to see? To see that Hashem is the Balabayas on nature. He uses the laws of nature when he wants. He breaks them when he wants. He's way above them, but he puts himself into them. He can do however he wants. In, out, in, out. Use nature, don't use nature. He decides. And you feel it in a miracle. And therefore, and that's why you see the miracles going on in the Middle East now are very, some of them seem very natural, and some of them seem just wow. No laws of nature, and it kind of goes in and out, darting. Hashem is like darting in and out of nature. You can feel it. Jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out. And therefore, There's the Hashem as the Kayach to make a nace higher or higher than the laws of nature or changing the laws of nature. Because Teva is from the word Teva, nature is from the word Tuva B'Yamsuf, meaning sunk in the sea, meaning, I'll read these words, Fardekt euch dem Chayach HaPoel von dem Eibischen was is in ihm voran. That means a miracle will, rather, nature covers over the Chayach of Hashem that's in the world. What is the world? A place where Hashem puts a blanket over himself and you don't see him. He's there. He's doing everything. But he kind of puts this, whatever, opaque covering over himself and you don't see him. Or a translucent one and you don't see him. That's what the world is. Simply put a cover over Hashem and look at the same scene. Oh, wow, looks like a world without Hashem. So, come on, I just put a cover over me. Don't be fooled. So Hashem plays with nature, in, out, for all kinds of, only Hashem knows. And what we see happening in the world today is this incredibly complex combination of Hashem, visible, not visible, miracle, nature. So when Hashem does that, and when Hashem did that, taking us out of Mitzrayim, that gave the Kayach to Yidden, who saw the miracles then, and by the way, that's happening now, gives the Kayach to us who are seeing the miracles, that for us there should be a Geula, a freeing from the Begrenzungen, the limitations of the world. Because we needed to be then, and we need to be now, released from Versklaven, slavery. We needed to be released from slavery then, the time of Pesach, the original Pesach, right? And we need to be released from slavery now, right? We're not in the same kind of slavery. Many of us live in America, so it's not the same kind of a thing, but we're mentally enslaved, and we have an enslaved mindset to the laws of nature, plus, everyone, what are all the coaching courses about? About getting out of the place where you're stuck, which means you're enslaved. So what is Yetzias Mitzrayim about? Getting us then out of our slavery, and now getting us out of our slavery. And it happens as a combination of miracles and nature. As it's called now, Versklaven zu weltische Hanachas, and Knechtschaft, imagine these words, Knechtschaft to the verschiedene Mitzrayim, Meloshe Mitzrayim Begvun. Enslavement, we have an enslavement to the approach of the world, to what the world says about how things go, to the rules of the world. And Knechtschaft, slavery, to the different limitations, the Mitzrayim and Gvulim of the world, Bechlal, and specifically of Gullus. We have a Gullus addiction. We have a Gullus enslavement. We think in a Gullus way. It's hard for us to think out of the box. Or at least we can for a minute here and there. When we see a miracle, we jump out of the box and then we go back into the box. So we are enslaved in this box of it goes a certain way in nature, and we are being more than invited, teased out of that box. And what? How does it happen? We have Zman Cheresenu, Pesach. Cheres Amitis from all the Hagbalas, all the limitations, including the Hagbalas of Levushei HaTeva, the limitations of nature, and also the limitations of miracles that are in nature, like the miracle of Purim. So, to finish this off, so that will be in the future, in the shleimus of the Gula Mitzvah Shlema. We will see miracles higher, way higher than nature, and the flows way higher than what we saw when we came out of Mitzrayim, and in a way of Erenu. That means it will all be visible. We will see the miracles. It will all be visible. Those things that can be revealed, and those things that somehow can't be revealed, it will all become visible to us. And we will see the truth. The emes und die pnimius for the anhagativis. We will finally see the truth of nature, of how nature works. We could say now it's happening. We're seeing the truth of how nature works. That is a godly process. The full Kamahanaganisis will see the complete miraculous way in a way as this is, that it's totally nifla, wondrous. That's what we're seeing now. And so the kayach to bring the geula to Yidden comes dafka, as we said, through Moshe Rabbeinu, the Redeemer. So in our next episode, we're summing up here. In our next episode, we're going to go into how exactly do we see, and what is that mechanism of the geula coming through Moshe Rabbeinu, how, what, why, and what is the inner story of it coming specifically through Moshe Rabbeinu, both then and now. We need to know now. All of these miracles are coming via Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation. And it's that is the most intrinsic piece of information about what we're witnessing now. It's not, Hashem is making miracles. Of course Hashem is making miracles. Of course the miracles don't happen on their own. But Hashem is making the miracles through Moshe Rabbeinu. And that changes the entire picture and gives us a view into the truth of everything. So to be continued, may we find ourselves in the Gula Mitzvah Shlema way before.
We don't hear you. What happened? Hello? Your phone went out? Okay.